I greet EAA Archaeology and all its employees and participants and wish them success. I am glad to meet you again with EAA at 2021 KİELE. You being valuable archaeologists are finding by digging and making explanation, and we are trying to interpret. This situation is the relationship of the place, which is the individual subject area that we want to see the concrete equivalent of. And the knowledge of human consciousness can find a correspondence in matter. The principle of unity units humanity at the central points with the positive protective preliminary relationship of the rigid and negative ruthless energy system with the unity principle. Collecting producer communities in Neolithic period reach us. With the mythological metaphors in their lives, they try to understand and explain themselves. First picture shows an excavation area close to village of Öğrencik in GÖBEKLİTEPE, Şanlıurfa. In the message given in visual depictions of Mother Goddess figurines, in general the subject is complaint. When we examine GÖBEKLİTEPE, we see that this area bears two features. It seems that Mother Goddess cult was present in sheltering areas with figurine objects. At distances of 70 kilometers to GÖBEKLİTEPE, small female sculptures made of clay are seen. GÖBEKLİTEPE comes in front of us, a cult center where male particular is dominant and where ritual is performed with follows. On T columns, various animal figures, cult symbols are seen. The oppressive male power indicator, which forces the balance in the human structure dialectically, gives the result that the human must exceed the ambivalence in the balancing of the collective universal self. By stating that there are the most follows in GÖBEKLİTEPE, archaeologists have interpreted this place as a sex shop where the culture of male sexuality predominates. The symbols of the T-shaped stones consist of wild predators. It's also been seen that symbols on the stones, on which there are more than 600 follows, in which the male dominant oppressive power is symbolized by predatory animals, also include animal symbols in active state. In my opinion, as going beyond the understanding of abundance in this place, there is this sanctifications of male power demonization by lust and pleasure while performing rituals with animalistic feeling, which highlight a negative energy. We can also interpret that is happening here is the metaphor of ecstasy and the devil in the trance, which is the use in Egyptian culture, devil race, and some cult ceremonies to reveal the material power of the active soul by providing sexual contact with deviant male and male. With the increase of secular culture, technology is used skillfully, but it's understood as the period when this exquisite dimension reside and excesses are experienced. GÖBEKLİTEPE self-washing technology. Schmidt say clay figurines at GÖBEKLİTEPE are the ones that attracts attention most. This definitely reflects different functions of ritual. Today, the cult of female worship is seen because those who believe in this belief system serve the devil. Creation, ignorance, sexuality, human science keywords. Harold Hoffman of the Germany Archaeology Institute argued that this organization was led by religious leaders. In this case, it's necessary to accept that indistinguished stratification has emerged in these societies. Klaus Schmidt also states that the communities that built GÖBEKLİTEPE were stratified societies. Schmidt states that GÖBEKLİTEPE is not a peaceful place. GÖBEKLİTEPE ritual culture is a domination culture. When I want to describe this GÖBEKLİTEPE metaphor, we can state that it's a sexual dance area where devil wants to pass over humans. Two female figures are seen in the totem in GÖBEKLİTEPE, which Klaus Schmidt drew above. In this picture, the posture of the arms, belly button, dodo birds, which describes the cross energy system, the divinity in the totem, to which the magical being, divine person, best of procreation, messages of polyistic Understanding the twin human metaphor is a draw indicator of the execute dimension of this belief. One of the figures stands wrapped in a loincloth in this matches of the far right of the slide. It's a ceramic sculpture made of porcelain clay for my exhibition in 1995. If they look at the Göbeklitepe name from the theological point of view, it's not give us a good message. A German archaeologist working on this head statue as a researcher had a car accident. The document in which the German archaeologist Schmidt kept his notes were stolen from his house in Kadıköy, Istanbul. It has been said by the local villagers that in the last days 50 people lit a fire and held a ritual at the excavation site. It's mentioned here that there is an illuminate structure. Stone cult, soil. Those who took the calf will indeed be overwhelmed with wrath from their Lord and with shame on his life. Thus we recompense those who repent, but those who do wrong but repent thereafter and truly believe, verily Lord is thereafter of forgiving, most merciful. Göbeklitepe is a curse demonization area where the energy of greed devil lives. Göbeklitepe is an application area of execute dimension stone culture. It has two features. It's 70 km from Göbeklitepe, where the cult of the mother goddess and figurines are located. It's emphasized on the symbols with the same complaint that the female figurines are encountered with, in the distance. Göbeklitepe appears as a dominant cult center understanding in which the male element is dominant. Various animal figurines on T-pillar symbols effective male power with the symbols of the cult of Taurus. The oppressive male power indicator which forces the balance in the human structure gives the result that the human needs to transcend the imbalance is balancing the collective universal self. What is important events change reflected on Anatolia by Göbeklitepe. Events in Turkey, which has been occurring step by step since 2000, are trying to make people accept the stone culture by persistent bullying of an ideological structure in Anatolia. In 1270, his wife Köksal Schmidt gave a conference in Bodrum about Göbeklitepe. Why is the giving this conference in Bodrum with a lot of events going on underneath, with the city of Urfa standing still? Why Bodrum? The theological explanation of the social cultural phenomenon is important. This project has leg in Germany, Iran, Turkey, Greece, Egypt, Crete, Izmir, Istanbul, USA. The religious pillars of the project are executed. It's an insidious project that progresses slowly. Project is bloody, and the game that is established is big. Göbeklitepe is intended to be turned into an exhibition site, which has also become the symbols for the false Sheh, where the devil is worshipped. On this occasion, by uniting the society with this belief, the caliphate in Islam is tried to be made a subject of political games. There is a very dangerous game. It's the apotheosis of political figures and pharaohs. There is a subject that I have been dealing with since in the years 2000, which I have been doing at the Faculty of Fine Art, Istanbul Marmara University. This field of study was the Mother Goddess cult since 1220. The continuation of my studies has been in court as a doctoral study and is currently at the European Court of Human Rights. Keywords: climate change, human rights, manifesto of property crime. According to my opinion, perception operation, this exhibition site is intended to arouse curiosity with its secret and be used ideologically. Read Kalem Sure and Devil. What do Göbeklitepe symbol says and what are irrelevant remarks made? This is the breaking point. That was people that had passed away that shall reap the fruit of that of what they did and of what ye do. Of their merits there is no question in your case. There were an ummah, they came and passed. What they earn belongs to them and what you earn belongs to you. You are not responsible for their actions. Özdan told about Bek's relation with Göbeklitepe. Göbeklitepe is not the oldest temple. It seems like we were digging a sex shop. Famous sculptures went to west as becoming obese. Göbeklitepe was not a birthship of humanity. Köksal Schmidt remark on Göbeklitepe. They are bird motif and not dinosaurs motif. Breaking point. In this picture, he is depicted as a man with his head cut off in erection position and the square portion, while the figures at the top of the columns look at the straight direction. The depicted human figure seen under the scorpion at the bottom is depicted at the opposite direction to the other direction. There is an animal in front with the changing time factor, the chicken symbol, eggs and sperm metaphor in the knowledge of secret containing wisdoms that people in Göbeklitepe wants to hit are also seen in this narrative. Unexecuted understanding of inverse relationship is also seen in Egyptian culture. Abuse. What does he say? Further investigation will certainly provide us with more detailed information, but to understand the new finds, archaeologists need to work closely with specialists in comparative religion, architectural and art theory, cognitive and evolutionary philosophy, psychology, sociology, using social network theory and others. Art theory, cognitive and evolutionary psychology, creation of metaphoric identities, demonization culture. Fenton says an ancient culture used aboriginal shamanism to try to stop the flood at Göbeklitepe. Many of animal symbols of the stones are related to aboriginal tribute totems. Creation of metaphoric identities, demonization culture, stone worship, caves. The dominization experience in Anatolia today are the symbols of the chicken egg perception of the metaphoric cult. The pictures at the beginning in the sculpture describing Göbeklitepe, the dodo bird on the middle meat is a chicken type animal. Power equal piece of meat, pagan culture X, chicken metaphor K-word. Dodo bird on column of Göbeklitepe date for 12 million years. Thus we see Dr. Julian Home. Thus we see he said that thus we see that the dodo bird found on the Göbeklitepe columns in Anatolia was found as a result of archaeological research, extinct caves. The rumor of swamp filled with dodo birds fossils turned out to be true. Bones. Thousands of dodo birds bones were unearthed from a fossil field marsh near Marleșu Moriu, being an island republic. Candle out ritual symbols of the pagan belief used in Anatolia and applied in Alevi culture. This is an important statement. During my doctoral studies in the field of art, I studied the structures of fire-loving people who I witnessed with the thought of chicken or egg in a period of 80 years by change. They say that they bring 40 God and events, they create events themselves. These people carried a paranoid mood psychology, performing ritual with the music and instruments, sometimes ecstatically. The metaphysical part of the humans about extraterrestrials, keywords. In the information about stone worship, it's explained as idol worship. In Islam, this belief is unacceptable and wrong. Perversion keywords. The skull sculpture that I present visually are the skull sculpture in Göbeklitepe Nevalichori. The head with a snake on its head and hairstyle of Vedic Christ in India show the same similarities. snake keywords. The others one keywords death. Map showing the written laws of the tables in the mythological narrators of the Neolithic written tablets. Holy books, law, communities. Hadaka Matsuri, also known as the Saide Ejo, is popularly known as the Neck Festival in Japan. Cow urine saves life. Recommendation of cow urine by Indian congressman. Belief, ambivalence. Keywords. Göbeklitepe kültür, sexual perversion of Egyptian pharaohs are the same. Enemy soil. From my ceramic exhibition 1995. Keywords, know yourself. At the end summary, scenarios played on Turkey, political maps drawn, the presence of Urfa Balıklı Lake, the city of the prophet as a venue here, the metaphor of the indivisible Ali who wants to hit as a pharaoh, choosing Göbeklitepe as a symbol, the individual subject area of Nemrut being in these places, the effects of ethnogeographia, the Fertile Crescent being named as the name for the region caliphate metaphor consists, oil and water wars, male domination, sexuality, sectarian strife, cultural ignorance, touristic cult, practice of pagan culture, spirit relationship including spirit fight and animal power, shamanism and metaphorical thought, confusion, Lake One and its region no hark, the fate of Turkey with horns, the description of the horned yellow cow, the description of the dodo birds as determined by archaeologists. The historical importance of this region is big as it consists of places where Prophet Ibrahim left his own manifest and idea of Tawhid as a word. This is an inverse cross relationship system with devil and demon moving, pagan ecstasy based on sexuality and is a sexual energy that split metaphorical perception operation that are incompatible with the events experienced in daily life. The important point in this subject, which is individual, defines the perception operation of societies that have shown modern science and technology development, and that the communities are safe from the blur of consequences. Proper operation of justice system in the practice area of balanced life of human communities to prevent people from being demonized with education and climate change awareness and the spirit overcoming ambivalence, to help the individual who tries to provide induction to open up a free space for himself to respect his labor scenario. Thank you very much for listening for my word.